And when the lead comes in, if it was a lead and you're not just cold calling, if you
Mm-hmm.
sent the video and they see your bright and shiny smiling face on there, they're going to call you back. They feel
Oh yeah.
obligated because you did something that the other four places they put in a lead didn't do. They didn't take the
Mm-hmm.
time to go out, pull the car offline, butterfly the doors, make sure it's standing tall, show them all the features, get them excited. It's an excitement business. It's the second biggest purchase most people make in their life after a home. They're spending 30, 40, 50, $60,000 on a new car. There has to be that excitement. I buy from people that I like when I'm shopping for furniture or whatever it is. We're all consumers, right? We buy from who we like. We buy from who gets us into that mode of feeling like this is a special thing that's happening.
Here we are. We're live. So today on Driven by Intelligence, thank you all in advance for being here. I've got Nick Carbacio. I've never even said your last name before, I guess. Did I say it right? How do I pronounce your last name, Nick?
You were close. Yeah, it's Kabach. It doesn't
Cabacio.
sound like doesn't
That's
sound like it's
fresh.
spelled.
So I've got Nick Carbacio, founder and president of MaxQ Automotive. He's a high-level auto executive who's helped turn around stores across the country. I myself have seen this live. His company is all about one thing, and that's operational efficiency. All right. And the results, well, it shows that dealerships are seeing, and he'll be able to talk about this as well. This is crazy. Over an 18% expense reduction, which is important right now as I'm recording this in 2025, 22% sales volume increase, and 31% jump in net profit or more, all within 90 days. Let's get into it. Nick, thank you so much, man, for being here, especially on a Sunday. Happy Father's Day as we're recording this. Pretty cool, man. Says a
Happy
lot, but
Father's
thank you,
Day.
Nick.
And thanks for having me. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So tell me a little bit about, and I love talking to car people about this. How did you even get into the business? And then walk us through how we got to where you're at now.
Well, I worked my way up to being a general manager within less than 2 years of getting into the business. From sales, worked my way all the way up, sales manager, finance director, sales director, all the way up the ladder, and just right place, right time. Got opportunities quickly, worked hard, always moved the needle. So got opportunities, and eventually I landed as a platform general manager and COO before I started my own company, MaxQ Automotive.
And that's awesome. And so, and talk to us a little bit about MaxQ Automotive. Like, what what came into your mind? It was like, dude, I got to bring this to the industry and serve them with MaxQ. What's the why behind that? The energy behind it, and what problems are you solving?
Well, the why and what drives me every day is just seeing dealers get better, seeing dealers have a better bottom line. And it's not from a greed standpoint, oh, the dealer needs to increase their bottom line. The way I look at it, Durran, is if a dealer can increase their bottom line, continue to grow and buy more stores, that
Mm-hmm.
dealer will continue buying more stores and affect the lives of many more people. I only work with dealers that are ethical. I only work with dealers that have their employees' best interest in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, when they buy more stores, they're bringing a better life to so many employees. Some of these stores have 100, 150, 200, 250 employees. So they're literally affecting the lives of every employee in the building and everybody that they love and go home to, their families. So it could affect maybe 1,000 people when a dealer that's ethical and cares about their
Mm-hmm.
people buy a store. So that's what drives me. I like to see people that put in the work and
Mm-hmm.
get the reward in return, and that's what drove me to start MaxQ Automotive.
Yeah, no, I love that. I share that too. And so you talk a lot about efficiencies, right? Within the business. So talk to us a little bit about the biggest inefficiencies that you see that are killing dealerships' profits.
Process, um,
Ooh.
process, processes are not either one. There's no process there for whatever their pain point is.
Mm-hmm.
or they had the idea, they put the process in place, and they failed either in implementation or accountability. A lot of times they even implement it correctly. And we're
Yeah.
down to the last step of this, which is holding your staff, from the management level, holding your staff accountable. You can't put a process in place and hold your staff accountable for 3 days and then not inspect what you expect every single day. The process will go away quickly. Salespeople want to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the building wants to be held accountable. But when they're not, they're going to continue pushing that line in the sand and see what they can get away with. And then a week later, the process is gone. It's like it never even happened.
Yeah, no, I see that happen a lot in my line of work, as especially early on when I first started, Nick, as a consultant trainer. I was flying everywhere, so now it's not near as much travel because we're much more systems implementationalists. A business that's really solving problems through data and CRM and video. But I know exactly what you mean, because I would go to a store, fly in, spend even 2 3 days, sometimes 5 days. I would spend at a store, and when I left, it was as if I was never even there to begin with. And it would crush my spirits, because I'm like, man, I'm putting my blood, my heart, my tears into these people, everything I can. And 2 weeks later, you find out two of the people are gone. That's what would rip me apart. And then you would like, hey, what happened to the young lady Michelle, and what happened to John? They're like, oh yeah, they were trash. We fired them both. I'm like, what? Did you meet with them? Did you have your one on ones? Like, what? And they're just like, yeah, no, they weren't getting it done. And you would almost sometimes, and I don't know if you ever see this, Nick, those people will either follow you, or you'll mess around and be at another store where that person will end up being, and they'll tell you the truth of what was happening, and you'll find out that there just wasn't much support that they received. So I think that's so important. And so which walk us through your process? How do you manage that? Like, how do you increase the level of accountability and helping the leaders become better leaders in doing that?
Well, I help coach the management staffs at a lot of different stores.
Okay.
Dealers contract me to do a lot of different things, but that's one of the things that I do work on, and helping managers become better is a passion of mine as well, because they directly affect so many people's lives. It's easy for a store to say, "Hey, we're growing. We need more salespeople. You can't cheat the math." All the cliche stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we need to hire 5 new salespeople as soon as possible. So they run a hiring class, or they put an ad on Indeed, whatever they do. They get 5 salespeople that are green. Great. That's the best way. Hire 5 people that have no bad habits. I love that.
Yeah.
Now it's our job to mold them. And when they're not molded, when no one wraps their hands around them and teaches them the right way, the right process, they will fade away. That's an epidemic that's happening in the car industry right now, in automotive, all over the board. Even great operators and great stores are having this problem. They'll many times hire a sales hiring company, which is fantastic. You get 5 great candidates out of maybe 30 or 40 that they interviewed, and then all of a sudden those people are gone. Next time you visit the store, you won't see them. It crushes me, because I get to know these people, and they can go from making $15 an hour at Target or wherever
Mm-hmm.
they may work before. They have this opportunity to work in this amazing industry that so many of us have built a great life around, and then they're gone, and they weren't given a real chance. And by that I mean, not that they didn't want to put in the work, but nobody
Mm-hmm.
taught them. The Again, I go back to, people want accountability. They crave it. They want to be taught. They want to be led. Great leaders are harder to find, but because I see this so many times, and it's funny that you mentioned this. I'm actually starting MaxQ Automotive sales training for beginning level sales associates. Our first
Yes.
class is going to be July 14th through 18th. It's going to be very cheap, but I'm doing it because it's something I'm passionate about. Dealers, GMs, GSMs, everybody, send me your new hires. Don't just give them, hey, you need to take your OEM, your manufacturer test for a week in the start of week 2. Okay, here we go. You're going to shadow Bob and Bob is not excited. So he's just going to make the new hire run and fill up the car with gas. He's going to make him fetch cars on the lot. Um, all the things he doesn't want to do, put the car back, the customer's gone, and he's not going to teach the new hire anything. 9 times out of 10, maybe higher,
Yeah.
right? So we want to make sure and wrap our arms around these people. It's not going to be that type of thing. Very interactive. At the end of the week sales training, they're going to know exactly the 10 steps on the road to the sale. It's going to be interactive. They're going to know how to do them. So it'll be a plug and play option. They'll know how to do the silent walk around perfectly. They'll know,
Oh
I mean,
man.
every step of the process, they will know how to do. And I'm doing this to increase the longevity of these new hires. So they're not
Yeah.
going back selling knives door to door or
Yeah.
security systems. So it can turn into a career for these people. We want to affect change in these people's lives. That's the big thing. And we're really excited about it.
No, I think that's big too, Nick, because in the space that I coach on is so much digital, online, and anybody that knows the number one thing I push for is video, video experience. And what's interesting to your point, I never thought about this to listening to you speak, is that you still, before you can really record a video walk around, um, and do it in a thorough way that connects with a customer who's actually looking to buy one, or maybe you could even influence them to buying from you. You do it so well. You have to have those fundamentals of what a good walk around looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody that's really teaching that, right? Like, because I have a PDF that I have that has step by step what to shoot, and it really goes along with how we would learn how to do a good walk around. Some of the things that you would highlight. The tread, some of the features. You're talking about I always talk about SUVPS, style, utility, value, performance, safety, and the features and benefits. But it's amazing. It seems like a lot of people are skipping that step in trying to focus just on closing skills. You know what I mean? And thinking that that's it, but you have to have these other components that you talked about, because that's what, when you get real good at these, some of the things that you mentioned, video and anything else in social media all becomes easier. But if you don't do it, you almost can look like a fool, for lack of better words. Because you know what I mean? You're trying to point out all this stuff, and you're trying to sound great, but you still need to have the fundamentals of what a good walk around, what a good process is, because it's not just about the road to the sale now. It's about understanding the road to the sale so you can meet that customer where they're at. If you don't even know it, what I see happening, to your point, is you'll see a sales associate that's just kind of be driven, like they have no control or no organization over the process. It's like every time they get with a customer, it's completely different. They don't have the right path to purchase that most
That's
salespeople should have, right?
there's no found. That's like trying to build a house without laying foundation
There you
first.
go.
Uh, you have somebody and you want them to write a computer program for you, which I know nothing about. That would be
Mm-hmm.
like me trying to write code. I don't have the foundation for that. I don't know how to write code. I
Yeah.
do know automotive. So I want these people to know every step of the process as we know it, because we're in this every day. We have been for multiple decades, right? So we know, and so many managers and top leadership at stores hire people and expect them to know these things, know the lingo,
Yeah.
know what they're talking about, and just bark out commands and them do it. That's where they get lost in the shuffle. Exactly what you're talking about. And then they're gone. They just don't show
Yeah.
up one day and they send a message, "Hey, I'm going another direction," and that's the end of it. And at the sales desk, inevitably, not bad people here. 100% of the time is, oh, he wasn't going to make it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he wasn't cut out for this, and that's not the case. No, you just didn't give him what he needed to succeed. Shame on you.
You ain't lying about that. Now, one question I didn't ask, Nick, is, are you probably touched on, is this live or in person?
This
Like,
is
I mean,
so.
I
This
meant
is
to
all.
say live online. Is this a live online, or is this an in-person event?
So this training will be live online
Online?
on
Okay.
Zoom. They'll get all of the materials up front. They'll get their steps to the sale. They'll get
Oh, this is
the guest
huge.
sheet, customer needs analysis. They'll get everything they need to succeed when they're done.
Okay.
And then we'll go over them in depth, step by step, interactive. Um, they'll be watching me do a silent trade evaluation, and then they'll be practicing. They'll be sending it. They'll be practicing at night with their significant other, husband, wife, best friend, family, sending it into me. We'll be going over them. They'll be the role playing, the meet and greet, all the good stuff, everything that we need until they're 100% ready to go and take a customer on the lot. And in a week's time, that will happen. It'll be a plug and play option for them. And I want to see these people. My goal is for them to go out, these new hires in
Mm-hmm.
dealerships that everybody's underestimating, saying Bob or Billy or Jane won't make it. Oh, they won't make it 30 days and go
Mm-hmm.
out and conquer the board in their sales department. I want them to be at the top of the board month one. It's
Yeah.
possible. I did it. You did it. First month, I sold 39 cars, but it's because I was trained properly. And kudos to those leaders that did train me properly for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the process, knew exactly what to do. So that builds confidence as well. And I'm just really excited about it. I cannot wait for July 14th.
Man, you might see me up in there. I want to listen in. You got me fired up
You're
about
you're
this, Nick.
invited, Durran. I'd
Dude,
love
July the 14th, it's going down. And I have a feeling this could be something that you do ongoing because it's so needed because, and I'm not trying to dig on any app. Hell, I mean, I got my own app. So I'm not dissing any app or online training course. I think they're all great. But I think one thing that connects you and I, Nick, that we both know is that um, people need that. They need that connection to the coach, the training. You know what I mean? Like there's so many AI tools, and I'm an AI. I've got teams developing stuff, but there's something about that real heart to heart, that you can ask somebody in a classroom setting, real live setting. And then this is for sales managers that are listening to this as well, that are in the dealership. I think our people need us more now than they ever had, man, especially newer people. Like they need to know, they need that reinforcement of what's working, what's not. And if we lean into that, you have a huge opportunity in this second half of 2025 to have leverage where most other stores don't, because I don't really hear many discussions around people, process, and development right now. There's so much into technology. There's AI, there's marketing, there's how do we get more leads, but it's that daily blocking and tackling that I think is so important. So let's get into the hearts of a salesperson right now, because I'll coach a class, sometimes during the week, and I'll have somebody reach out and just talk about what do you do when there's just not enough traffic right now? Like there's not enough leads. So I hear what you're saying, Durran. Everything sounds great in terms of how to get somebody to want to come in, but what do you say, Nick, to people that are struggling with that side of it? Like the traffic is low at the store, they don't have many leads they're receiving. What advice do you give to them to get them going?
Well, everybody wants to say it's a lead problem, it's a
Mm-hmm.
traffic problem. Many times, stores don't need more leads. They need to work their leads more efficiently that they have. More leads just equals more advertising dollars.
Yep.
You have to work every lead like it's your last, like it's the last one you'll have that day. And you have to create your own business. Everywhere
Yeah.
you go to a restaurant, you pick up dry cleaning, whatever you do in your daily life, family functions, you have your business card, you have your virtual business card. Scan this. I'm your car guy now.
Yeah.
When you or anyone in your family is thinking about a car, you don't go anywhere, but you call me.
Yeah.
I'm your guy. I'm your gal. That's what you do. I don't believe that traffic is ever too light. There are months of varying traffic patterns, varying lead patterns, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not working the leads that they have correctly. They're not sending the video with every lead. People can't put a face with a name. They're not being memorable. Um, that's the reason why these people are ghosting them. Oh, these leads aren't quality. We don't have great quality leads. Yes. Oh, I got 3 leads yesterday. These same people that you're talking to that say it's slow, we don't have leads. When you peel back the layers of that onion, they got 3 leads yesterday. Just one
Yep.
that very salesperson. They sent 0 videos. They didn't do anything memorable. The emails were template based. They weren't a real. People know the difference. Look,
Yeah.
I love AI, and you're the king of video and the king of AI, Durran, since I've known you. What I can say about AI, I'm not a proponent. I'm not an opponent. I'm not. I think AI is great. I love technology.
Yeah.
I'm not some technology guru, nor do I claim to be. But I've been digging in heavily on AI because it's where we're heading.
Yeah.
But I can say, to your point, it will never replace human interaction. Not in
No,
my belief. It will enhance
that's
our
right.
staffs. It will enhance. It will make people more efficient, which is a word that I love
Yeah.
in my business. But that will help good employees become great, but it will not replace the employee.
Yeah. No, to your point, Nick, it actually, dude, it can actually make it worse. I think I just posted about it recently. Just literally from the heart. I mean, it wasn't even from a course, wasn't repurposed content. I was like, I've got to get this out to the world because what people have to understand with AI agents, with all this technology and everything that's coming, it's only going to increase more conversations, bro. Like it's only like you have to be better, and then you have to take it to another level because what I was saying in a recent post was like, let's say Nick's the green pea in this story. Okay, so Nick's a salesperson. He just started a dealership and they've got the coolest AI tool and it's integrated to the CRM. Oh my gosh, it's easy. Well, if this AI agent is talking to Nick's customers, right? And it's going back and forth and it says something to Nick's customer, hey, when would you like to come in? And the AI and the customer says to the AI, well, I don't want to really come in yet because I'm concerned about my financing. And then it says, oh, no trouble. We've got lenders that will work with you. And it's going back, forth, back, forth. Well, at some point, it either might ask for an escalation where it's going to say, Nick, you need to talk to this person because they really need to know the payments before they come in, or the customer does actually show up. If Nick is a sales professional or any sales professional in this story doesn't know how to pick up that baton from the AI that did the engagement and keep that experience, that conversation going, but also raise the bar. Because as a human, we have to raise the bar. We shouldn't be at the level of AI or underneath it. We should be adding things to it to personalize that experience. And I think we're going to see more and more of dealers coming back to like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much training my people really need. Because what all AI is going to do for most sales reps that use it correctly is you spend a day where you might have made, like think about your leadership days, Nick. How many calls would you tell your team to make when you're on the retail side, or how many do you instruct them to do now? Do you have
It,
like an activity target that you
absolutely.
encourage people to hit?
Yeah, I have a red light, green light, yellow light checkout process that I install in all of my stores. And to be green and win the day, it's
Hmm.
50 calls, two confirmable set appointments.
Yep.
Obviously, that drops down to one confirmable set appointment if you also sell a car that day. But the
Hmm.
call minimum is 50. That's a job requirement.
There you,
50 good calls, leave a message. I'm not talking about calls, oh, they didn't answer, hung up. You go into the CRM and type in LM in the notes, left message to appease your managers. You didn't leave a message. You're not going to get called back.
yeah,
They think spam. Leave a message. Make sure the customer knows who you are. Make sure they know why you're calling. That you have something special to tell them about. They will call you back if they have even the slightest inkling that they may need a car or somebody in the family may need a car in the next 6 months.
yeah.
You have to
Well,
be human. There has to be that human touch. And when the lead comes in, if it was the lead and you're not just cold calling, if you
mm-hmm.
sent the video and they see your bright and shiny smiling face on there, they're going to call you back. They feel
Oh yeah.
obligated because you did something that the other four places they put in a lead didn't do. They didn't take the
Mm-hmm.
time to go out, pull the car offline, butterfly the doors, make sure it's standing tall, show them all the features, get them excited. It's an excitement business. It's the second biggest purchase most people make in their life after a home. They're spending 30, 40, 50, $60,000 on a new car. There has to be that excitement. I buy from people that I like when I'm shopping for furniture or whatever it is. We're all consumers, right? We buy from who we like. We buy from who gets us into that mode of feeling like this is a special thing that's happening.
This is Experience Intelligence brought to you by Nick and Durran Cage, baby. That was good. But like to keep this going though, to keep the energy going, that's what I'm saying. Like you just heard Nick say about the 50 calls and about the voicemails, and these are so important. And when you add in these technology tools like these AIs, it's gonna go from you're gonna make 50 calls too soon, it's going to be you're having 50 conversations because of the support that you have with technology. That's a game changer. So, what do you say in 50 conversations if you're not trained to handle 50 conversations?
If you're not trained, see, it all goes back to that foundation, and
Yeah.
it's not their fault when they get hired and don't get the foundation. Look, all the gurus, the so-called gurus online, they're
Hmm.
pitching buy my product, buy this. It's all about objection handling, closing. They
Yeah.
they can't get to the closing. They're not there. In a
Yeah.
great store that succeeds month after month after month, and you and I have built these stores, many of
Hmm.
them when we were in retail, so we know this. The new salesperson that we hire off the street that's green, has no experience, closing is the last thing we should ever ask them to do in the beginning. If they can get
Mm.
through the 10 steps on the road to the sale and do them perfectly and hone their craft,
Yeah.
a manager should pop up off the desk, and if there's any problem on the first pencil, that sales manager takes the second pencil. And that's what I advise every store that I work with to do on the consulting side. The manager goes out and closes that deal. And
Yeah.
that shouldn't be, by the way, that shouldn't be the first time that customer sees that manager. That manager should do an early turn as soon as the customer walks in the door. Hi, my name's John. I'm a manager here at ABC Motors. We just wanted to give you another point of contact at the dealership. I'm going to be overseeing the process, but John will do a great job. You're in great hands. I hope you have a great experience here at ABC Motors. It's that simple. It's 30 seconds, but so many managers don't do it. They're lazy. They're set in their ways. They're not making calls at the desk like they should be. They're follow up calls from a management level. It hits
Hmm.
different. They may be
Yeah.
no better than John, the new salesman, in their skill level, but when they call that customer and follow up, the odds of that customer coming into the store, showing up for an appointment, whatever the case is, and the purpose for their call goes up exponentially. But oh, a manager called me. These people are serious. They're not going to waste our time at ABC Motors. That's the biggest thing. The managers have to not only create an environment where salespeople can learn and grow and hone their craft, but they also have to be engaged with the customer, whether they're in the store or not. The use of a live TO when
Hmm.
a new salesperson or any salesperson gets hung up on the phone. Hey, wait 1 second, Mr. Customer. I actually have my used car evaluator right here, and you flip it to a manager, that customer will convert at probably an 80%, based on my findings, an 80% higher level. You're never going to see that customer if you don't employ these processes in your store.
Man, what? You know what got me fired up just listening to you speak, because I'm like my mind is listening to you, and at the same time it's already thinking about how it connects to something I just experienced. But it might have been, I don't know if it was this morning or last night, but there's a young lady, and I'm sure if I said her name, everybody would be like, oh yeah, I know who she is. But there's so many of them, young ladies and men, or it could be older people too, that are on TikTok that are absolutely tearing it up selling cars. I'm talking about probably she's probably having way more success in the first 2 to 3 years of her sales career than I did in my first 2 to 3. Like my first 2 to 3 wasn't like that, where not even like what you're selling 30, 40 cars in your first few months. Bro, you're talking about 2, 3 months. I'm selling that as a salesperson in New Mexico. If I'm lucky at 17 years old, just because I wasn't there yet. Like I had to learn through some pain because I wasn't listening to my leaders. So I had leaders that were teaching it. And then there was, back in 2002, you had some really good car guys like yourself and car ladies that could give you the game. It's just on to you. It's on to us as a salesperson to receive that and use it and apply it. Like most salespeople, they're hearing information even right now that they could use, but they're not going to use it to apply it. But listen to what this lady said. She said, I've had Countless. She was like, so many of you have joined the car business because you've been following me here on TikTok. Number one, that blew my mind away. She was like, I'm getting messages every single day of those of you quitting your jobs because you want to do what I do and sell cars. She was like, I'm honored. But she was like, let me give you 3 tips if you really want to be a great salesperson at this, because some of you are starting and you're not doing well. Her number one tip was to make sure that you know your product. She's like, make sure you have a good understanding of your product and inventory. And then her number 2 was that you have to make sure that you're selling yourself. She was like, they have to be confident and know that you're a good person to do business with and you're confident in what you're selling. And I'm sitting here listening to her getting fired up, but it's no different than anything that we're talking about here. You even said it. You're like, it's not about closing. You don't have to be this expert closer on price and handling negotiations. You have to be confident in what you're doing, the process, the experience that you're providing, right? And then making sure that people are buying you. But it was refreshing to hear that because this is a TikTok star. Like she's got 3 million likes, tons of followers, absolutely doing well. And she's breaking it down to the fundamentals that we're talking about here, that you can look at all the glamorous stuff, the people that have millions of followers and this, but at the end of the day, you really just need to be good at understanding the process, giving customers a really good experience, knowing your product, at a level that you understand where to point them in the right direction. She even said at the beginning, and man, I got to give her some credit. I'll have to pull her back up. Maybe by the time I record this, I can probably pull her up. But she said, she's like, for me, I see myself when I work with customers almost as a consultant because I'm listening to the guest talk to me about what's important, and then I will confirm and let them know that yes, this should be the way that we go, or maybe we should go this way, because she said a lot of customers don't really know that sometimes they think they know what they want, but she says they might not be going in the right direction, and she said that's on us as product experts and consultants to put them in the right way. What? There's a young little lady giving
She's
game.
exactly
What's that?
she's exactly right. You have to place yourself as an advisor that
Yeah.
works between the dealership and the customer. No customer wants to go in and hit a salesperson. And I
Yeah.
hate the word salesperson, by the way, because I don't want anybody trying to sell me anything. I don't
Yeah.
believe in the hard sell. I don't believe in any of that. And you don't have to do that, right? So being an advisor to the customer and gaining their trust and them realizing that you know exactly what you're talking about and that you have their best interest in mind, that's what is magical. They will call you for every car after that when you place yourself as their advisor who just works on behalf of the dealership.
Yeah. Man, I wish I dude, do you know how to look at what you looked at before and see, I don't know TikTok enough. So like she's gone in my feed. Like she just pulled up as a recommendation. But she'll hopefully by the time we post this, I can give her some extra love on that, because she really gave some great games. So before we get into some rapid fire questions, Nick, and we kind of bring this to a close, what are some things that maybe we didn't talk about that you think are important maybe for people to hear, whether in leadership or salespeople? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, on the management level, I work with a lot of managers in every arena in the car dealership, and I think emotional intelligence is a huge thing. That's
Yeah.
To me, I look at that as my superpower, emotional intelligence, because people hear that and it's a buzzword sometimes, but realistically, being able to control your own emotions is one thing, and most people at a certain level in any company have mastered that, or at least they're good at it.
Yeah.
But being able to regulate the emotions of your staff, that's huge. I tell every manager that I work with in any dealership or any business, if you don't know how long has XYZ employee been here? Oh, he's been here 6 months. What's his wife's name? What are his kids' names? What are the hobbies? What does their family do on Sunday when the store is closed? And most times they can't answer any of those questions.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, your emotional intelligence is off because you don't know your people, and they're not going to run through a wall for you. They're not going to show up when they don't feel the absolute best for you. They're going to quit on you at some point. People 100% leave people. They don't leave
Yep.
jobs. They leave people. So when that emotional intelligence kicks in and you can make it to where there is a bond, it is a true family. That the family environment, the family culture that goes on at a dealership or in any business structure, that's where you get long lasting employees. You build great, unbreakable, lifelong bonds. So I would just encourage people, hey, if you know you're not good at it and you're in a management position, by the grace of God, because you should be good at it at that point, but there are plenty that aren't. Read a book on it. Read, get some literature. Even just do a Google search and read 15 minutes on how to be a better leader through emotional intelligence.
Hey, what's a book that you recommend, Nick? Is there
My
anyone that
very,
you can think of that you use for
my
emotional
very,
intelligence?
my very favorite book that kind of ties into emotional intelligence is by Simon Sinek, The Why. And I think that tells a lot about yourself and other people and how to handle yourself, how to how to handle yourself with your staff. I
Hmm.
think that does deepen your understanding of emotional intelligence.
No, that's good. No, I can echo this on a personal level. When I got into leadership at a store, I was a tyrant kind of leader, like firing people in the sales meetings kind of guy. Just it was one of the things that I saw, and so I thought that was normal. So you come into a meeting late, or if you didn't know, you didn't sell a car the previous day. What you got on the board today? How many appointments you got? Oh, you don't got any. You're fired. Type stuff, and it was terrible. But I can remember the turnover being so high, right? And somehow I got to some level where it's like, sometimes you can be a bad leader, but and think that you're a bad leader, but in your mind you're a good one, And I was one of those. And I started surveying people because I read that somewhere. And I surveyed the team. I had our lady. She was kind of like HR, customer service, and she surveyed to see why people liked working and what they didn't like and why people left. And the number one reason that they left was lack of support, leadership. Me, really, it was because of me and the leaders that I had. Well, once the owner got a hold of me and we changed the philosophy and actually like I started serving my team instead of being a tyrant, to your point, we didn't lose a single person. I think we lost maybe two over 2 years. It was like a 19, 20-month period. And the same thing that we surveyed, what do you like? And the number one reason why they stayed was because of what? The support, the leaders, so you're right in saying that people, one of the number one things, whether they quit or stay, is because of the leader. It's not even the company sometimes. It's whoever that person they work for, their coach, their manager, their supervisor. If they're in it to win it with them, that person's not going to leave. And I guarantee you, somebody's watching this right now and they know it. They followed a boss somewhere, right? Or they've had somebody follow them somewhere. And man, that's like the ultimate testament of who you are as a leader is if you get up and leave and people are coming with you, or you're staying put and people are staying primarily because of you, like they're getting options and offers from other dealerships right now, but they are not going to leave because the person that they work for is the right one. That's powerful, and I think that should be the mission of every leader, right? Is to get people to a level of not just extreme loyalty, but get them to a level of that's what they aspire to be as well, right?
Absolutely. And when I was in retail and I would take on a new store as the GM or whatever the case was, and it was a turnaround type of deal. And I got this
Mm-hmm.
from my dad. My dad and I talk about everything in life. He's my best friend. And he said, Nick, what you should do after the first few times, he said, Nick, you're going into a new store. You know it's a turnaround project. He said, on their name placard, he said, put a little sticker on the back that says what they made the month before you got there, the exact amount before taxes are taken out, whatever the case is, 2351. And the sales associate, the finance manager, whoever it was, they had no idea the little number I put on a sticky and put on the back of their name placard. and then 90 days later go revisit it. And this was sage advice from my dad. And we go revisit it, and it would be 3, sometimes 4 times the amount of monthly income that they were getting when I got there. And it wasn't because of me. I'm not saying, oh, I fixed the world. It was a team effort. They bought in, we all engaged, but it started with the culture and the way we made these people feel, the employee. You lead, all these people want to lead with fear, like you had alluded to. And there was a period of maybe 18 months early in my management career where, same, exactly like you said, how you were, that's how I was. Um, Aid the gate and all these things that we've seen,
Yeah.
get rid of people on the last day of the month. And it's like the way we came up in the business, but very
Mm-hmm.
quick. I don't have many regrets in life. That is one of them. I try not to live with any regrets, but I now, after, you know, 13, 14, 15 years in automotive, realize I could have saved some of those people. I could have maybe
Mm-hmm.
changed some of those people's lives and for the better. Um, and that's really what drives me now. And that's the reason for it, because for that small period of time, I wasn't a great leader, and self-reflection
Yeah.
led me to that. And so I do believe that, and it's luck of the draw. People see a help wanted, hey, we're hiring ad, we're growing, all these ads that you see, and they're adding salespeople. And that can be the start of a beautiful journey that changes the life of a whole family, because of the income levels, because of, the way people feel, the satisfaction they get from being successful at their craft. So that's how I operate now. I instruct everybody: lead through kindness, not through
Oh
fear.
yeah.
Fear has its limits, for sure. And people that are only listened to because they're feared, it's a very short run for them. And then you'll see a new manager in their place, because it doesn't work. They run people off. They don't care. The human connection isn't there. Care about your people, be invested in them and their family, in their lives, lead with kindness. The results will be a whole lot better, I promise you.
I've been wanting to do that the whole show. Finally found a spot. That was beautiful, man. That brings us home to this rapid fire, because I could talk to you for hours. You already know, like, we have conversations all the time, and we'll continue those conversations. And I know you'll be back on, because so many people, this is needed right now. So again, as we're recording this Father's Day 2025, we're about to go into the second half of the year. And as we're recording this, the first half of June has been wild. Even the first half of this year has been like, man, there's been some ups and downs with tariffs, with politics, with wars. Like, there's so much going on, and training is going to be one of the first things that gets left behind. Personal development could be one of the first things to get left behind. And I hope this show, matter of fact, I know this show has encouraged not only everybody listening, but even myself, to double down on our development. So let's get into these rapid fire questions real quick, and then I'll let you get on to enjoying your day with your family, with your little one. So let's get into it. All right, number one dealership department that gets overlooked way too often.
Fixed stops.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
a- Absolutely fixed stops without question. And it's because a lot of GMs and a lot of dealer principals didn't
Mm-hmm.
come up through the fixed ops side. They came up through sales, finance,
Yep.
all of that in the variable side. So either they don't know and they hide from it and just try to hire somebody in fixed ops that can do the job sufficiently,
Yep.
um, or they just don't like it. There's so much money hiding in fixed ops. I go and do initial evaluations on stores using my dealer scorecard, dealer efficiency scorecard, that's proprietary to MaxQ Automotive. I created it myself through years of guess and check, and it evaluates a store 100%, top to bottom, even their back office. So what I see most in fixed ops is, we haven't. When's the last time that you applied? Talked to the manufacturer and applied
Mm-hmm.
for a warranty increase, parts and labor increase on warranty, and I see some of the wildest answers. Oh, I think it was 2004. I mean, they're the manufacturer loves these types of stores. They're paying them half of what they should be paying on their when a customer brings a car
That's
in for a
crazy.
warranty. So there's so much money dropped in fixed ops because the emphasis is on the variable side.
Yeah. Man, that's wild. Well, that kind of goes into the next question. It says, finance or fixed ops, which one is harder to get dialed in?
I think they're both easy. I think everything is easy when you have a process and you follow it.
I like that.
You have safeguards, you have guardrails, you have backstops, and most people fail because they take their eye off the ball or they don't want to continue getting better. We have to grow every day. We have to expand our knowledge every day. That's what I love about the automotive industry. So I would say I would have to say both.
I
They're
like
they're
that.
both dialed into.
All right, next question. What's your favorite part about being in stores?
My favorite part is the energy. When the store's really clicking, you
I
feel
like
the
that.
energy when you walk in. The customers, the employees, everybody feels it. So I would definitely say the energy.
All right. What's a quote that you live by for either personally or in business?
I'm a big quote guy. Picking my favorite quote is very very difficult. So I'm gonna have to. I need some time on that one because I don't want to do any disservice to any of my favorite
Uh,
quotes.
how about you just give us a quote? What's a quote that maybe could inspire someone else that you live by or something that they could use? Doesn't have to be your favorite one, but maybe one that
I,
applies to what we talked about.
one of my favorite ones is "What got you here won't get you there." Um,
Mmm.
it's one of my favorites. When people are leveling up, um, they think, "Man, I put in all this hard work, all these countless hours. I've missed X, Y, and Z, family functions. I deserve it." Well,
Yeah.
that's just the way life and the universe works. And what you did to get you to the mountaintop won't get you higher, won't
Mm.
keep you there. So that
Phew,
that would that
I feel that
you're
right
putting me
now.
on the
Whew.
spot, and that's the one.
That's good. Last one. You're about to do a full MaxQ assessment on the store. What's the one number, the first number or metric that you look at?
The first metric I look at is I dig into their CRM. We're going to start on the sales side. We're going to dig into the CRM. We're going to see how many calls are being made a day, their call volume, the call quality,
Yeah.
the confirmation numbers, all of the metrics inside that CRM. That's the very first thing I'm going to look at. If a dealer tells me they're having a problem, their sales are
Yeah.
slumping.
Yep. You and I, same. I would have had the exact same answer. I look at I look at activity and I look at engagement. That's it. Like I tell the stores all the time. If you pull up your CRM or if you give me two different reports that I need in a matter of 30 seconds, I can tell you everything that's wrong with your store. It's really simple. That CRM is the heartbeat and the pulse. And if you're not using it, again, that tells us everything that you need to know
Everything we need to.
about a store. If you're not using it, if it's messy, that tells you everything. If it's tight and it's not working, even better, because now you're like, okay, now we just know what we really need to fix. If it's tight, it's just an operational thing. So,
And
Nick, man, thank
those
you.
same stores, Duran, just to add on to that, those same
Yeah.
stores, when you do I do one-on-ones with every manager in the building. As part of my initial evaluation, spend 20, 30 minutes with every manager. Those
Hmm.
same stores that we're talking about right now that are slumping, and you and I can look into their CRM and 30 to 60 seconds tell what the problems are,
All day.
what ails them. That when you get in the one-on-one with that sales manager, inevitably the answer will be, "Oh, our lead counts down."
Yep.
And when that's not the case at all, but that's their answer to everything, and it's just an excuse.
That's it. And a lot of times they don't even have anything to compare it to, because I always say, somebody says, man, our lead counts down. Is that compared to last month, or is this compared to last year? And then what was the amount of inventory that you had? Was the inventory levels about the same? Did you guys change partners? You know what I mean? It goes back to what you said. You don't have a lead problem. Typically, you have a lead conversion problem. And if your lead conversion is strong, then getting more leads will be the easiest conversation that you ever have, because there's 10,000 companies out here that, somebody like Nick or myself could easily just turn the light switch on, they can get you some traffic. But the best traffic comes from your team, your CRM, your people that know who you guys are. So I'm glad that you brought that up because that's I think no, I don't think I know a lot of leaders need to hear this because we broke this down to simplicity, but also provided some areas that I'm sure that are getting overlooked. I know if I'm in a store, sometimes you just get lost in the trees, right? You just you're grinding, you forget. Oh my gosh, dude, I hadn't had a one-on-one with my salesperson in weeks. I hadn't had a sales training with my team in weeks. I hadn't had a consultant or mentor talk to me about some of these things in years. And so I'm excited. So I look forward to Nick, people reaching out, connecting more with you, and seeing your company grow and thrive, man. I've seen your heart in store, seen your leadership there and outside of it, and I'm excited where you're going, man. So anything that you want to tell everybody, and then also how can everybody connect with you, Nick, if they want to move forward or just learn a little bit more about you and your company? How do they do that?
They can email me at nick@maxqautomotive.com. That's
Okay.
nick@maxqautomotive.com. Or they can call me at 972-900-0380. That's 972-900-0380. Love to talk. Love to give any dealer a free evaluation. Set the ego aside. I know you're a good car guy. I know you wouldn't be where you are without being an exceptional car guy. But now you have 3 stores, or now you have other things going on in your life. A little outside help at times can be huge because outsiders with knowledge can see things that sometimes when we're so wrapped up in the day to day that we can't see. So I think that's a huge thing. I'll give anyone a free evaluation. I fly all around the country doing this. We can talk about your pain points, how I can help, how my company can help. But if you want to just try us out, this new employee sales training is a great first step. And Durran, it's $199. We
It's a
spend all
no-brainer.
this on just kind of, you know, hiring employees, going through that vicious cycle of not wrapping our arms around them, not training them, not having them prepared, and then they leave. And the amount of money that costs you when you really break it down, you send them for the drug test, the urinalysis, you send them for the background check. You've paid all this money, you lose the employee, and it's not 60 to 90 days. In the automotive industry, these people fall off in 2, 3, 4 weeks when you're not
Quick.
wrapping your arms around them as a leadership team. So give it a try. I promise a plug and play option. They'll be fully versed in the 10 steps to the sale, on the road to the sale, and they'll be able to take a live customer the next day. So we're really excited about it. June 14th through the 18th. Very interactive. We're going to get them excited about the auto industry, and we're going to give them that foundation that they need, the building blocks.
Let's go, man. I'm excited. Nick, thank you so much. I'm sure this event will be big, and I hope it's so big that you can do it on repeat because the industry needs this. They need more people like yourself, feeding our people, teaching our people, and I know the leaders are going to be excited about it as well. So, man, thank you again for sharing your time, especially on this special day. To those of you that are dads or that are celebrating that, enjoy your. I hope you enjoyed it because this doesn't air today. So I hope you enjoyed that. But to me, Father's Day is an everyday thing. We keep leading, we keep growing, keep learning from our mistakes and learning from the things that we've won on. But Nick, I will talk to you to soon because we'll stay in touch. But I hope a lot of people stay in touch with you as well. Appreciate you, Nick.
Thanks, Durran. Thanks for having me, and happy Father's Day. I know you're one of the great ones, so thanks for having me.
Thanks, bro.
Gratitude. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. It's always great, and I thank you for it. So, if you could do me a big favor, fam, if you want more videos like this, please like, subscribe, comment, share this out. And hey, if you want to see something different or if you have some feedback for me, send me a message. Love to hear back from you. But until then, thank you all. Keep winning.